Cool. All right. This meeting is being live streamed. Got it. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Monday night online open mic, something we like to call the stay at home open mic. My name is Richie Marrufo, aka Dead Wall Reveries. I am the project director of the Barbed Wire Open Mic, and we are based out of El Paso, Texas. And we've been doing this now since 2020, April of 2020. Every single Monday we've been gathering and we have a whole archive. So if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Today we have our, what it looks like is going to be annual tradition of the poetry potluck. The encouragement is if you want to do a cover poem of someone in the community, a friend, someone that you'd like to, I guess, give some gratitude for. Of course, just like in Tumblewords, you're welcome to do whatever you want, right? But that's always a great thing. Um, if you haven't already and you're watching this video, make sure to subscribe. And then when you do that, you'll be notified when we go live in future events, as well as be able to sign up. Stick tight. If you're watching live, let me edit the description. In the description, if you still want to sign up, there are some spots still available. So if you want to sign up and read today, you can probably do it. If you're still a little shy, sit back, fill it out, and then join us next week. But more importantly, feel free to interact with us in the live chat. We do have the live chat going. I'll be there sharing any links from the Zoom call to YouTube. And if you guys want to leave comments, I'll report into here as well. But I'm really looking forward to introducing today's host. He's been here since day one, every single episode, including the unaired pilot, as we like to call it. And he's really pushed for this new tradition, including the cover poem and the obligatory hat to go with that. Which is just fine. You know, I love it. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over the reins today to Mr. Kit Wren, Mr. Monday Night. Kit, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Take it away, me. Thank you so much, Rich. Thank you for giving in to my spiritual elan, I suppose is the word I want. Actually, probably not, but never mind. I need to continue with this sentence. I need to just move on to the next one. But yes, welcome everyone to the second annual On Purpose Poetry Potluck. If you're a longtime watcher of the show, you know about the cover poem. You know that we like to give tribute to the ones who came before. And one Thanksgiving, without planning, we ended up giving tribute to each other. And it was a lovely little unplanned thing. And so the next year, at about the same time of year, I decided, what if we did that on purpose? So this year, this time of year, we're encouraged to just share each other's work like a potluck, mingle everyone's voice together, see what it sounds like, see if new things come from your work when someone else reads it, because that is the whole idea, right? And for my little beginning, I want to just sort of talk about how we all got here, because I grew up, luckily enough, in a very literary family. I do not remember not being able to read, and I always remember being encouraged in that, and that is most likely because my mom is a poet. Dad was also a literature professor. Let's not leave him out. I got it from both barrels, but mom's the one I want to focus on because mom is a wonderful poet. If she wasn't my mom, she'd still be cool. And this is from her book Flow, which won the Southwest Book Award, given out by the Border Regional Library Association. There was a fun little gala dinner with this nasty chicken that had almonds in it. Do better next time. This is from that book. This is in Budapest, 1848, before the siege. Perhaps the white stag of nationhood leads Sandor Petofi out of the garret where he writes out, then crumples up his dactylic yearnings by candlelight. Or else a friend bursts in, shouting, "The French have risen up," and driven out Louis Philippe and proclaimed the Republic. The six-legged stag then gallops lip to lip and heralds a time of beautiful government. Folk flow into the streets. A restless river floods the parks and roars out the taboo liberal phrases. Free press, free speech, free assembly. No more secret police. Students abandon lectures on dead languages, craving wine barrels. Poets leave their desks to throng in the free air where res publica seems a thing within reach. The students belt on rapiers, whether for style or out of a sense of foreboding. No one now living can say. Yeah, and fast forward many years later to when I'm an adult and I am looking for something to do and be a part of, and I get to BWOMS, and Richie Marrufo's up on the stage trying to get things started, and he's got his little looper. I don't have a looper. That's not what I'm meant to do in my life, but he had a looper, and he would sing. He would recite Windblown World, a Chuco love song. It's in Barrio Panther, Volume 3. Incoherent mumblings are the inept incantations drawn from the abyss of this pen's empty kiss. I've had many poems eaten by the clumsy dance of a backspace button. You are my work in progress. Isn't that all we ever are? You see, I want to make music. I want that dark, smoky, aromatic tone that legends like Lester Young, Ben Webster, and Art Lewis painted their masterpieces in when there was nothing left to yearn for, to culminate, from meditate, and orchestrate inky sonic thumbprints soaked in the lusty allure of dark corridors and light post-forever musings of stardust flicker flame passageways. 5:07 a.m., the cosmos are crunched, and Buddha folds over the alarm clock. Stacks of what have you, nonsensical rumblings ruminate on frothy, jazz-licked rememberings of your familiar afterkiss. Perhaps this sensitive heart is penance from a past life. For even a tangential universe such as this can explode a kiss into atomic whiplash. This is your love song. So when life is bringing you down, don't forget that ever-essential elemental presence in breath like high sling freeform bebop impulses into a Chuco skyline, sonic smoke signals that swirl and twirl into the air to become misguided mockingbird melodies in search of its music. You move, sandstorm, rebop, rememberings, cuando yo te vi, mi corazón bailó. There are 100,000 heartbeats in a day, but the ones that sound like jazz are for you. So, and then certain developments in the world at large and the single cellular world in general, actually no cells, made us go to YouTube. And there, the impossible happened. We found more people who, without the barriers of gas prices, drink prices, and comedians, saw fit to join us and become part of our community. And the best, my favorite example of this is my birthday twin, Lee Martinez Soto. This is from their book, Para los Locos. It's called Fragmented Identity. It's also in Spanish, but I know my limits. We negotiate ourselves in terms of safety. Is it safe for me to be in this context? What fragments of me do I get to show here? What parts are not welcomed? What fraction is just a nuisance? And it's a never-ending process of coming and going between existence and non-existence. We learn since our early years that we can only truly be in certain places with certain people, sometimes fragmented into parts. We spend our lives compartmentalizing ourselves into the aspects of our identities that we can get away with. The rest of the time we spend it advocating for our own existence. And we kept at this week by week. And you're here at the end of that journey. You already know how it ends because you know it doesn't end, because you know it's still going. But eventually we got people from all over the nation. We heard about other mics. Did you hear about this mic in Spokane? Did you hear about this mic in Atlanta, Georgia? Did you hear about this mic? Do you know about the New Yorican? Of course I know about the fucking New Yorican. Are you kidding me? And eventually some of them got to know us. And some of them started joining us and became inextricable parts of the landscape. And one of the first to do that was our friend El Profe, Mr. Tezazomok. And this is the poem I remember him reading first. La Frontera X, Border X. You are listening to La Frontera X Radio Chingado, where you have come to suffer el síndrome del inmigrante. I will tell you, it is not a corrido. It is not a pastorela, not Teatro Capra, not even an NEA subsidized art project. No, it is pure suffering, cabrones. Aquí, you can't pretend to be Pedro Paramo. You have not come to Kamala, no donkeys to get you across the Tecate border. Welcome to Purgatory, sponsored by TLC. And it is not tender loving care, pendejos. Not even Turner loves Chicanos. Our motto is the border will run out before the festering desire to cross it. Call it what you will, La Frontera, La Cruzada, a 5K titled Run for the Border, El Paso Incognito, Radio Chingado on the air. We have a que barrita for you, just east of the Ote Corral, brought to you by Los Broncos, Radio Chingado. With the weather for you pollos, the ground is full of brazos, but don't worry, it does not make you a bracero. Today, for your listening pleasure, boleros, so you can play with your cancias till the night comes. This is Johnny Chingas on Radio Chingada. Grease up your feathers, pollitos. Today could be your lucky day. Today, the tortilla curtain becomes podrida. Never mind the thermal imaging technology, pollitos. Run across the bucolic sagebrush. Never mind the Pentagon hand-me-downs. We have pelado technology, pollo camouflage. The ability to pass 60% of the pollos. We have Mexicano stealth. All of a sudden, we are serving you a taco wango at your nearest run for the border. We are babysitting your kids, cleaning your gardens, and doing what your big ass won't do in Cipiros. If you have just tuned in, this is Johnny Chingas on Radio Chingado. If you did not make it across Dead Man's Canyon, you will be gladly met by Operation Gatekeeper up somewhere in the big Mexicano sky. Inmigrante, if you just arrived, welcome to La Colonia Libertad. Admire the red-tailed hawk as it crosses the border without need of papeles. The bottleneck dolphin laughing as it crosses the border to the amigo country. The dollar does not need a passport. The big companies do not need passports, only you, pobre mexicano. You are listening to Radio Chingado, the voice of the voiceless, where we tell you about those green chiles standing on the inside of the Estados Unidos podridos. Bienvenidos a Tijuana Nirvana, cabrones. And
classic test.
Classic test. Like I said, it made an impression on me. And here we all are at the table, as Joy Harjo would have said, giving thanks for who we are to each other. And you already heard his voice, our first contributor to the potluck tonight is coming out of Denver, Colorado. We like to joke he is a lighthouse to us, but it's also not a joke because it's the truth. I want you all to welcome Michael Sindler to the stage.
Yes, and speaking of lighthouses, lighthousewriters.org, the new session actually just hit, so there are new classes that are available. So now is the time to jump on those. In thinking of who I should do for this all hat session, I decided immediately to go to my fellow Beardo bards to the Bardo. And first I'm going to read from this anthology, which is remembering Jack Kerouac on his 100th birthday, put together by the National Beat Poetry Foundation, and read my buddy Dane Ince, who is the host of yet another really good open mic on Tuesdays, and which is Time to Arrive. And this is called 12 Bar Blues. Who needs the ruptured placental hemorrhage, baked dry, blown away? Feathers clean off the Nevada summer desert blacktop highway, mirage shimmer in the distant heat, hate like no other mother, daughter, my jokes and carnival hat, no match, no soother, no cigarette, backbeat 12 bar blues. This shit just got real. Spread your legs, angel chariot, wide wind. We fly at night on moonlight dreams. Do you feel the chiggers bite, crickets, lightning bugs, the bourbon burn, the capital punishment for when you stood instead of sat down, the method of punishment for you talking right out loud when you know you should have been quiet, the ordained death comes for your good intentions, to padlock your Sisyphean heart, eventually exhaustion and asphyxiation like famine babies born of men on thrones whose petrified, perfect eyes, without blinking, no tears, float the tin cup armada laying siege to El Moro, the tattooed crucifixion just a long ago sting, the death of a criminal, just like you. Outside the wall, the sobs are silent. The dust blows over like a universal joke, pulled just on you, up there burning, bleeding, lost language no one can read. No one is laughing. We have seen this unfunny too many times. Hear the weary warble, tumbleweed sand. It's pretty beat. And if I'm going to be reading from Dane, of course, I have to read from the other great Beardo bard, the lovable and wonderful Mr. Brian Franco, Generalissimo as we know him. And this one is from an anthology called Love Letters to Gaia, and it's called The Best Museums in the World Have No Walls. Whilst driving up Route 1 in Maine, I stopped at a rest area to stretch my legs. In wildlife preserve campus encompassed a pond, wetlands, and walking trails. A weeping willow tree near the pond cried out to me. Yellow and black striped caterpillars held court in the cruxes where its tree and branches met. They looked like fresh from the tube streams of acrylic paint in relief on tree bark, an abstract masterpiece for Mama Gaia herself, existing in untangled harmony, waiting to cocoon out of sight, then explode into butterflies and be displayed on the gallery wall that is the air everywhere. And I thought I'd go ahead and do one more. Another host of a great open mic, Finn Hall, who does like a blot from the blue out of Scotland, and is the king of collaboration. Just does so many wonderful things, just bringing together poets from all over the world. And this is a piece called There Goes the Sun. We are but dust, galactic dust, heading for the end as we circle round and round and round the sun, the burning sun, burning out our lives as we destroy the ground we live on, fueled by greed, convincing others, convincing ourselves that we need to dig more holes, blow up more rocks, pollute more seas, destroy, destroy, destroy. In a world where profit is the profit, where no lives matter apart from shareholders who are beholden to the profit, creating more destruction than the flaming spear, because when it burns out, when the last flicker of flame is extinguished, we will not be here to notice. By we, I don't mean you or me. I don't mean our children, maybe not theirs, but the sun will have been shining on our empty, desolate planet, our once green and beautiful globe, a place that gave us life, the planet that mankind destroyed long after we are gone, until it has finally run its course and burnt out, leaving the galaxy dead and barren. And even if we have migrated to Mars or anywhere else, the result in the end will be the same. All gone, we will be dust, galactic dust. And on that cheery note, I thank y'all very much.
And on that bombshell, that was Michael Sindler. Michael, thank you so much. Do you have any upcoming events you want to plug?
I do not, other than once again to tell people that you should definitely check out lighthousewriters.org. That'll do.
Okay, well, thank you so much. The whole bearded bardos thing that took me back where you all three of you were sharing the stage at Glasgow, and I showed up and had freshly shaved just so I didn't steal your thunder, but Brian seemed upset. He seemed to think of me as someone in training. Dane Ince is also someone who is always welcome here whenever he can make it. I remember the first time he showed up here, he noticed the bongos behind Richie and demanded they be put to good use. And this is the wonder of live entertainment. You never actually know where it's going, but I know where we're going because I have the little spreadsheet. So I know that who I'm calling up next is our friend from South Euclid, Ohio, the poet laureate of that burg, in fact, is Doc Janning. Doc,
Thank you.
when you're ready.
I am ready. And the first poem I would like to read was written by none other than Mike Sindler. And it touched deep chords within me. I don't know what the title of it is, but this is the poem. 5 years have passed, this fraction of sorrow. I still wake, having dreamt you live, talking round the table as if all is well. Something cracks in the late morning sun. I feel the tears. I let them come, but only for a moment. I let my chest collapse, then breathe in. Fill it full of love in remembrance. I wipe the eye where sadness trails. Time will not erase sorrow, will not erase longing to hold you in my arms once more and say, I love you, but at least you died knowing it was true. And the words of Joy Harjo were mentioned, and I love this poem of hers. It's titled Directions to You, and it's from her book, An American Sunrise. Follow them, follow them, stop, turn around, go the other way, left, right, mine, yours, we become lost. Unsteady, take a deep breath, pray, you will not always be last. You are right here, in your time, in your place. One, north, star, guidance as we look up to the brightest white, hoping it leads you to where you want to go, hoping that it knows where you should be. We find our place here in the white, gather our strength, our breath, and learn how to be. 2, east, the sun rises, red, morning heat on our face, even in the coldest morning. The sun creates life, energy, nourishment. Gather strength, pull it in. Be right where you are. 3, south. Butterfly flies, spreads yellow beauty. We have come to this moment in time, step by step. We don't always listen to directions. We let the current carry us, push us, force us along the path. We stumble, get up, and keep moving. 4, west. Sunsets brings darkness, brings black. We find solitude, time to take in breath and pray. Even in darkness, you can be found. Call out, even in a whisper or whimper, you will be heard. To find, to be found, to be understood, to be seen, heard, felt. You are breath. You are memory. You are touch. You are right here. And I recently heard a poet and writer I had never met before. I had never heard her before. Her name is Judith Mansour, Mansour. And she wrote a book titled Khan Zaman, Kanzaman, which means old times in Lebanese. And in it, there's this poem, Where is Home? With the love seat and couch where I took naps, I could finally relax. Where we had holidays with all mom's finery. Where is home? Where we drank coffee from mismatched mugs. I had my favorite from who knows where. And you mixed highballs for us at 5. Cousins stopped by anytime, all this time, to eat and drink, to share in your life, where I lived that life that got buried with you. Where is home with my twin bed and dresser and boots bought in high school that never fit right? Posters of rock stars and coats cast aside. Our things, our life, our home, our family scattered about. Stale bread for the birds. Where is my stuff? Like notebooks and photos, my first teddy bear, college term papers that made mom proud. Where did it go? that home that was us. Is that still our home now that others live there? What is home if I can't go visit? Where we were loud and silly and fighting and close. There's no memory farm for me to till soil and grow it all back. Thank you. This book was put out by Crisis Chronicles Press. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc, for bringing some new names to my attention, as well as paying tributes to favorites, both personal and out in the world. Do you have anything that you'd like to plug upcoming?
The only thing I have coming up is an event called Porcelains and Poetry, which is an ekphrastic poetry event to raise funds for a local charity which gives grants to seniors for lawn care and driveway plowing. But it is a local thing. The only thing national about it is that the U.S. Beat Poet Laureate, John Burroughs, is going to be one of our poets. But you can find it if you want by going to onesoutheuclid.org and looking for the poetry and prose. They would love donations from those who can't attend.
Thanks very much.
Porcelains and poetry, excuse me.
We got you. We got you. Well, thanks very much, Doc. Glad to know that you're taking your office seriously and using it to do some good work down there as well. As just
every day something new.
You know, not a lot of people get into poetry for the glamour and the money. I mean, I did, but I'm not a very good forward thinker.
Well, I did, but there's no money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking for that classic free 10-pound sack of $100 bills.
I've become a thousandaire by being a writer.
There we go. Hey, that's not nothing. That'll let you get an Uber. As long as you don't get sick in it. Well, speaking of awkward segues, we're going to move on now from South Euclid, but still stay in the Midwest. We are going to visit Chicago, and that's where a transplanted Texan of our acquaintance makes their home now. It's always really exciting when we get to hear them read, and can't wait to see what they have in store. Please welcome Kingston Nolly.
Thank you. It's good to be here. So tonight I'm going to read a poem by Viola Larkin called Ecstatic Rituals. Ecstatic rituals. There has always been a rhythm to the life and the flow of us, of our arms out, our legs kicking. There has always been the beat. There has always been the rhythm of the earth, breathing of the trees, breathing of the light, and the mystery, breathing and the life. We step so carefully now, like too much weight will break the soil and send us diving, core-bound, crushed. A firm foundation gives the illusion of permanence, folly in our shifting existence. How can our bodies call us to wringing away our hard, even lines into bends, twists, and shapes out of daydreams, all moving at once? There's a sound to the rhythm of the beat of the beyond, and the beyond is all of us. We're all breaking the boundaries set by our fear. We're unleashing, and this is the way of the dance. Music is the way we soak into deep pools of shadow, the way we sparkle in the spot, staggering scintillation, and the way we break bodies into beats, notes, and soul. We are everywhere the music flows. We show ways to the waves, to the world out beyond where we give up our chains for unmaking. Bring in the night soaked in rich darkness and lights in the air, like night made concrete, like light that takes up space, like the air so charged it glows in the soft, warm cacophony of the sound around us made matter, made mortal, rising from the dark revelation and carrying our hearts up so even the peak of the grief of each fade into change makes us weep, makes us sing, and dancing we spin. Here we hold out our arms to the whole world, encompassing darkness, staggering light, and the mind to the body, to the air, to the earth, and around the globe, spinning like a dancer as she kicks her hips to the beat of the bang and the stars that sing or spinning. It's all one single motion in those moments. In time, you're in concert, you're inside, and there is nothing else. Inside all of us, there is nothing that doesn't belong. So yeah, that was a poem by my wonderful partner, Phil Larkin. That means a lot to me. And that's all I have for tonight.
Wow, that was
That's
wonderful.
plenty.
Thank you so much for sharing. Is there, for people who are joining us for the first time and seeing you for the first time, is there any place in social media where they can follow you?
I'm not really active on social media right now. So if you want me to follow you, just send me a message. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram in the chat. But yeah.
Okay. I suppose that is implicit in the whole following thing. People get real mad if you don't do that. But but Kingston, thank you again so much for joining us. And speaking of the poet that they just read, we're going to go next to Pittsburgh, where, never mind, I'm not even going to try, even though I know where Forbes Field used to be, where Heinz Field is called something else now. I saw them take the ketchup bottles down. It's disgraceful. But in that city of steel and Andrew Carnegie, there is Vale Larkin. We are real excited to hear what they are going to share today.
I want you to know that the Heinz ketchup bottle, one of the Heinz ketchup bottles, is now on the roof of the Smithsonian History Museum and Sports Museum.
I'm very happy to hear that. I'm glad they're being
it's widely visible all that side of town.
Excellent. That's heartening this year.
Okay, I'm going to read 3 pieces today. None of them are super long. They are, 2 of them are by my partners, Kingston, who just read, and Andrew, who is going to read after me. And one of them is by Kit Wren, who I actually am not dating. Okay, first by Kingston Nolly. Liminal. I found myself with bits of skin underneath my fingernails. I found myself with my knees pressing into the back of a couch, curled up fetal position, star-visioned. I found myself with 3 different pills in my hand, smooth, rough, smooth, bulbous, elliptical, flat. I found myself with bits of skin underneath my fingernails, lucid in my nightmare, with my knees pressing into the chest of a friend, curled up fetal position with heavy-lidded vision, with him nudging me once in a while to make sure I'm all right. I found myself in the house my family lost 4 years ago, running down extending hallway into the master bedroom, with the door locked behind me, with bits of skin underneath my fingernails, with disappointment-heavy shoulders, with sand dollar scabs blooming on my mirrored face. I found myself with bits of skin underneath my fingernails, peeling a sand dollar off the bulb of my nose, accidentally peeling all the healthy skin off my nose. I found myself with O-positive stains appearing on imitation marble, looking at a glass-eyed anthropomorphic iceberg, red-handed, with bits of skin underneath my fingernails. I found myself with my knees pressing into the back of a couch, with bits of skin underneath my fingernails, lucid in the dead of night, with bits of skin underneath my fingernails, with fresh lattices on my back, angry nerves babbling to my brain, with bits of skin underneath my fingernails again. And next, yeah, that's an amazing piece. By Kit Wren. The day C-SPAN broke the fourth wall. The witness before the financial committee is not being helpful, but not in the typical way of an unhelpful witness. He is crying in big gasping breaths, his shoulders rolling like a boxer's. He is apologizing. He doesn't understand the questions. Yes, that is his name on the records. Yes, he is the CEO of Fast Loan. But that was not, he pleads, his understanding. He's just a voice actor who went to a sketchy audition listed online and was so thankful it wasn't a sex trap, he was overwhelming. He forgot there are other kinds of traps. The contract was long, but the money and perks were overwhelming, nice enough to preclude follow-up questions. He's sorry. He keeps saying that like it helps. There's snot all over the microphone, on the desk, dripping and spreading slowly. This was supposed to be a dry session to do with interest rate caps, something only a calculator could love. But now the committee is forced to consider questions concerning the nature of identity and reality itself. Some of them are no longer sure if they're congressmen. The chairman stealthily pulls out his driver's license and traces his finger across the letters of his name, mouthing along as though it is test material that he has not quite mastered. And last, this is a piece of flash fiction by Andrew Pryor. This is from a series of his based on instrumental songs, inspired by instrumental songs. This is called Instrumental Number 41. Pandora is waiting for the world to end. Pandora lives in an olive green metal box, half buried next to a birch tree in the woods behind a spacious 4-bedroom mansion. Pandora moved into the box at the beginning of the world, when the air tasted sweet and the sun had a soft voice. There was someone else living in the box at the time, but Pandora kicked them out. Most of Pandora's time is spent scurrying back and forth from one corner to another, racing over to a bottle cap, picking it up, carrying it over to the other corner, then dropping it. The bottle cap is Pandora's most prized possession. It is her helmet, it is her shield, and on very infrequent occasions, it is her mirror, the metal underside polished to a shine. The bottle cap is the only thing in the room that Pandora found herself. Everything else was brought by the 11-year-old girl from the spacious mansion. The keychain with the LED light, the 7 brown M&Ms, the cigarette the girl snuck out of her older brother's coat pocket that's longer than Pandora's entire body. When the two of them talk, Pandora stuffs shredded tobacco leaves in between her mandibles to stop her voice from quivering. The girl knows that Pandora is a cockroach, but the girl thinks that insects are cool, especially insects that talk. The girl tells Pandora about her soccer games, her art projects, the terrarium full of beetles and worms on her windowsill. The girl describes dirt in the way Pandora would have once described sunlight through a waterfall. The girl does not know Pandora's name. The girl told Pandora her own name once, and Pandora did everything she could to forget it. Pandora tells the girl about how she was cursed by a vengeful god, how she feeds off human garbage and swims through rusty water, eating mice babies and slicing night crawlers in half for fun. She hears a grin in the young girl's voice as she responds with questions about chewed-up butterflies and rat carcasses. It is all false. Pandora has been outside the box once to hunt and ensnare a bottle cap. She practices daily out of fear of ever having to do it again. Her real fantasies are very different, stretching across her mind at night like high-tension wire. Pandora was not cursed to become a cockroach. She was cursed to be immortal. And everything that once lived in the box is also immortal. In her dreams, when the bombs fall and the fire blankets the sky and diseases plume up from the ground like crawling clouds, the box sprouts 6 metal legs and a swiveling head with glowing red eyes, and she tramples the soft bodies of all the humans that have become waste, melting back into the earth under the heat of the apocalypse until nothing is left, until all the evil has burned itself out like the stump of a cigarette longer than the scorched body of the world. And then she peers out and lets the dying light pour in and smiles at her reflection in the underside of her shield. And then she wakes up in the middle of the night, the woods crackling and chirping, and she rubs her forelegs together and prays for the sound of rain drumming against the roof to drown out her thoughts, only thinking of the girl's terrarium on her windowsill, the worms poking their heads out of the dirt and looking up through the glass to the sky with their mouths open, waiting and waiting.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for those impassioned readings, Vale. Well, if people are seeing you for the first time, where can they find you? And do you?
I put it up in chat. I am pretty much most places I'm at Vale Larkin, so look up that. There's like me and a couple of fantasy novel characters, so I think it would be easy.
Oh. That sounds like good company. It's just me and a 17th century architect with my name. But coming up next, we just heard from him in a very elliptical manner, since that was his piece that Vale read to close their set. And I'm hungry for more, but I'm eager to see what they have to share with us. So everyone, please welcome to the stage, Andrew Pryor.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know, side note, I don't know how many Andrew Pryors there are online, but I know that they all want to sell me erectile dysfunction pills. So who's to say? Some of them might be good guys, who knows? Anyway, thank you for taking an Uber from Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh without throwing up in the cab. I appreciate it. And now we have 2 poems by the one and only Vale Larkin, who is my partner and who I happen to love very dearly, and I hope I do their work justice. So without further ado, here is Exoplanet. 1. I am so lost here in this meat, and I can't tell if it's holding us back or holding us up. I can't tell what's real in this soup. Mind-melding gut bacteria, hormone profiles, mirror neurons, a fungus that takes over your brain. Reality is teeming with potential, seething, swarming with options and possibilities. I don't know if I could even imagine anything beyond these bone-bound oubliettes we find ourselves in. I imagine nonsense, feeling without juice, thought without salt, life without meat, a disembodied, infinitely malleable awareness. If I can follow every last spark of sensation to its nerve-laced origin, what do ghosts know with? How do they feel? Where does their love live? 2. I find here myself. I find here at the center the string and slime and congealed grit of me. I find biological agents of order and change, shelter and love. I find every drop of passion running through blood, lymph, cerebrospinal fluid teeming with proteins and antagonists. Here is a memory made of acid and oil. Here is joy, an astronaut flying from dendrite to dendrite, faith in the void and velocity. Here is the definition of serendipitous, arrayed in all its molecular whimsy. Here, the faintest trace of madness and caffeine. Where is art? Is all creation only synthesis? How is imagination? 3. There are millions of beings who call your meat home. You are a metropolis, a biome, an ambulatory planet. Do planets go to heaven when they die? Does the Earth's mood shift as we roil her matter with our gouging, churning, burrowing, watch her magma flow in great, slow beats, her passion rising, and we, her parasites, clinging to her skin and believing we are the answer? When she dies, does she go to heaven? 4. Beyond all this teeming, squeezing, salivating life, what is it about the spaces between, the millimeters between, the heartbeats, between the bones of your spine, and the thread from which dangles your life? What is it about this small emptiness that is so vitally important that losing it, even once in a while, even for a little, even in just a few places, coccyx and lumbar between C6 and C7, can stop everything? A skipped beat, a stilled rib, and gone as though you never once oozed your liquid, illogical self across the surface of this world. Do planets go to heaven when they die? I wonder for just a little while longer, or longer and longer, feeling dissected from meat, mind from oil and electrolytes, and soul, oh soul, do you go to heaven? Do you die? Little planets, wandering lost. Who are we? So that was Exoplanet. And the other one, I believe, all right. The other one is shorter. And it's also one of my favorites. And it's called Invincible Moments. Those singular, invincible moments. Waiting for fireworks on a perfectly warm summer evening. Seeing dragons in the clouds, flaming the sun down the sky. I did not know in that gasping second that we would kiss. But oh, a terrible hope looked up and saw a goddess, glorious. Those moments when everything aches for the truth beyond reality. I believed I saw the world ending and lifted my hands to grasp at the tattered hem of the rider I could almost but never quite see. I knew how sharp my madness was as I raced into the inferno, and there were wild things in my mind and dreams, dread and delight. Those moments of revelation, of understanding in a breath what revelation can be. All the myriad definitions of life. I slipped through trees and undergrowth grown green and knowing, light coming in points like stars through the canopy of boughs overhead. I will never know where those old stone steps in the clearing came from, or why I will always long for their silent mossiness in the leaf-dusted glow. Those moments when chains break and your feet lift from the earth, and all around you joins together in the song of the soul. They didn't matter. The vaulted halls and the aged hymnals, worn by devotion, pages softened to tissue that would dissolve like wafers if I tasted them. Still, there was a special kind of fire that poured through stained glass into that glory of voices, and a ravishing reverence the music revealed. Those singular, invincible moments, those endless moments whose sweet sharpness, whose wordless vows, whose blossoming hearts guard every moment following, forever. I am 6 years old, and I am seeing a violin. And that's it. I think, yeah, Vale, can you speak? Because I think I might remember this poem being longer, but the version I'm looking at now is only a page and a half.
Where did you find it?
It was on the link that you sent me right under the Exoplanet one.
Okay,
In Messenger.
Oh, wow. I wonder what that could be. It is longer than that.
That
Oh,
was
well.
an excerpt from. That was an excerpt from Invincible Moments.
I think that was an early draft of Invincible Moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did remember it being longer, but I figured.
Yeah.
I thought this might have been
I'm
a later
sorry.
draft.
Thank you for reading it. It was so beautiful for me, so thank you.
I'm glad.
For
Thank you
me
for
as
reading
well.
my work as well.
Yeah, I liked it all too, for the lesser vote that I have. Andrew, if folks are seeing you for the first time, and I'm pretty sure they are, where can they find you on social media?
There's my Facebook page. I'd say just follow me there. There's also a podcast that I haven't updated in a shit ton of time that has some writing on there called Story Stoic. I'm sure if you search for it in the podcast, well, no, actually, you have to go to the website. It's not on the podcast fund. I'll put the link in chat for it.
Okay, well, thanks very much. It's great to
Thank
hear
you.
Right. Well, we go from the Alleghenies back to the foot of the Rocky Mountains, where friends like yours truly live, and where someone, once again, you've heard from this person already in an indirect sort of way. But coming up next, we're keeping it in the family. We're going to Robin Schofield.
Thank you, Kit. Thanks, everybody, for your choices and your great work. And I'm going to read a poem, several poems by some writers I admire. And one of them is a person I met in San Miguel de Allende. And I continued meeting her in San Miguel de Allende. And then we started meeting in all different places. And the last place we met at, we met in Montana, we met in upstate New York a couple of times, and then we met in England. And I had the privilege of seeing a skylark. And so it made me appreciate this poem of hers. Her name is Liskin van Pelt Deus, D-U-S, and it's called Letters to My Dead. In flight. I was thinking about the day we spotted a merlin, and you told me they once were called lady hawks because noble women used them to hunt skylarks. Imagine, how could they hunt skylarks? We spent a lot of time looking at the sky, you and I, or closing our eyes and gazing at the blood orange of our eyelids, lit by the sun. Good for our sight, you claimed, and I never wanted to check. I liked to take your word for things. Merlins have two speeds, you told me, 0 or 30 plus miles per hour, either waiting or killing. Poor skylarks didn't have a chance. Know where their name comes from? They sing in flight, rising and hovering to deliver their multitude of notes. On the anniversary of your death, I want to skywrite your name, a song hanging in the air, the color of your eyes. Okay, and isn't that what we're all doing, is writing to our dead? And to continue on that theme, I met this poet named Richard Westcott in England, somewhere on the moors. Where is he from? He was a doctor in a very small town north of Devon. So this one is called There They Live Much Longer. And Richard was an interesting fellow to meet. He also had a video poem that he did. This is called A Letter, and it's from Primo Levi. Cara, ti saluto. You will not be surprised to hear I have been depressed again. I must tell you, my dear friend, there is so much yet to know of physics and organic chemistry and phenomena that control the making of a mayonnaise or a simple vinaigrette. Meanwhile, here I sit at home under the sketch of a barbed wire fence and a Garibaldi poster, along with our two mothers. Mine, whose senile is 91, hers is blind and 95, totally blind for 15 years. I know that you will understand my place is here. I cannot leave. I have always tried. I can only write. If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? If not this way, how? If not now, then when? Please excuse my theme's diversity. The world is beautiful in all its variety. It is time to end my letter. My injured foot is slow to heal. Depression makes it hard to write. I worry about my loss of memory. I have more doubts than convictions. There is little left to say. How many things we've seen and done together. Thank you. You're very kind. The indifferent rivers will keep flowing and glaciers continue to grate. Perhaps my books will live. Tu sei gentile, de profundas, primo. And the whole book is like that. You know, people who have committed suicide, people who should have died hereafter. So, changing the mood a little bit, I want to read one by, oops, don't do that, kitty, by my good friend Donna Snyder from one of my favorite books of hers, I Am South. And this one is called Blame It on Neruda. Yeah, Blame It on Neruda. If only I had never said yes to Pablo Neruda, how different my life would be now. But no, I said yes, 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 and yes. The compelling eroticism, the insistent imagery, the smells of earth and flesh, the sound of movies and silk hosiery, swishing the young thighs crossed and uncrossed in the darkness. If only I had never said yes to fervent kisses beneath my ear. If only I had retired alone to my concrete bed in orange cobija, used the Neruda for a pillow, slept with my legs in a tight knot. But no, I could not say no, and Neruda had his way with me. If only I had not acted out the conquest with you, me, Malinche, and you, the white rapacious hordes. No, you already knew I read Neruda in the humid night. And with that, you knew everything you needed to know. Desire conflated with need, and any action thereby justified. I said hello to the conquest of the Americas in reverse. If only I had ignored the sound of fuchsia flowers blooming in the night. I blame it all on Neruda, and now I'm poetry's slave. Okay, and I have one more that I'm going to read from this award-winning book called Brother Sleep by Aldo Amparan. And he won the 2020 Alice James Book Award, very prestigious. I mean, I'm sorry, Aldo. And I just, they did a poetry workshop for us in Tumblewords one time, and it was really great. So I feel like they are part of our family. And this is the first poem in the collection, and ironically, it's called Endings. This morning, I have fog for breakfast, a whole bank of it before sunrise, plucked from the corners of the mountain. And already I'm thinking about the end of the day, the sunbed unmade, the lull and the sex of a boy who reminds me of someone I'd rather keep unnamed, the headache after the orgasm. I've been thinking too much about my brother lately, just how much of the day he spent asleep before his end, as if the end devoured like voracious fog the hours he had left on earth. I want a different ending, or rather, a thing that doesn't end in heartache or headache. The sea and the sun, for instance, the quiet nestle of clouds falling down the pits of my body. So, we've got a lot of talent in the borderland. All right, so that's where I'm gonna stop. And you can find me on Facebook under my name. You can also, local peeps can find me and Aldo at Literary Bookstore on Mason Street. And that's about it.
Thank you so much, Robin. Oh, excuse me. I don't know who's. And also thanks to Myra the cat singing counter to her.
Yeah, Myra was around.
Yeah. Yes, thanks again, Mom. For highlighting not only the people you met at San Miguel de Allende, but also the next generation, basically. Because it feels like Aldo's going to be like a fixture for a long, long time with how much attention his book is getting, and that's a very exciting proposition. But coming up next, like I said in my little preamble, we've made a lot of connections over the last 2 years from all over the country. And the person who's coming up next is one of those connections, and she is so deep in the mainframe now that she has taken the trip to meet us all at Old Sheepdog for Donna Snyder's last reading. It was a very hallowed occasion. We were happy to have her, and we're happy to have her again. Everyone, please welcome from East Los, Sandy Shakes.
Hi, mic check, okay.
You
Thank
good?
you for that awesome intro, Kid. Okay, so first piece was very special, a little bittersweet. It was written for me by an amazing poet upon my departure from the mic I hosted. And I've been laying low, but I had to come out for your potluck. Here we go. This fight club was for exclusive members only. Through vocal cord rite of passage, our words had to earn admission. Thus enter, Sister Soldier, called forth to call forth, combatants that answered, armed only with pen, paper, and voice, assembling the virtual bridge that connected west to east and beyond. Chicana warrior, MC, microphone surgeon, dressed sweetly as the most fragrant of blossoms, concealing intentional verses that shake the atmosphere. She labeled as spicy, not in the tone of generalized disrespect dished out to you by the unseasoned, but the spice that ignites fire voices gathering in unanimous discourse to beat feet down these mean streets where the weak would simply wilt in the heat. You persevered and answered the call to suit up, show up, and breathe fire and slay demigods who wanted the smoke but had no extinguisher. Evil's flammable, and we've got the time and the matches. I am indebted to have been welcomed into these hallowed halls that cast down borders and shouted down the patriarchy. Talk to us straight when humans didn't want their spirits weighted down by hope's hefty burden. You summoned the energy of the ancestors to shake up our souls so they overflow into society's block conscious. With this, please accept this rouged war paints benediction as your virtual flowers, whilst this esteemed fight club bids you adieu. Thank you to the powerful and very legendary poet Rose Gold from Colorado. If you don't know who she is, she's an amazing spoken word artist and my poet, the Soto sister. Okay, next piece is by the wonderful and always ever present Miss Donna Snyder. The old man is small, but the mic makes his voice bold. He hits all the right notes and holds them just long enough, the sweet high ones, the resonant low. The music comes from a laptop. The speaker, about 3 feet high, sits on a stool. The accompaniment not too loud to chat if one has a dinner partner. The mariscos are as fresh as you can find in the middle of the Chihuahua desert. The limonada sweet but tart enough to demonstrate the reality of limes. La música tan romántica. El músico modest with the knowing smile. He croons Juan, Gabriel, Trio Los Panchos, Smokey Robinson, and the Miracle. The old ones, corny ones that bring tears and memories of someone man enough to love me and proclaim it all. 87 God years he promised. 87 years he would love me, and that he had loved me from the time he was in his mother's womb. That he could sense my existence like a deity in a temple makes its presence known. Que lástima, he left me here. In a world where no one gets my sense of humor, I rail up at him there in el cielo, shaking my fist at clouds color de rosa mexicana, as he taught me to call pink, sky, también, the color inside the pearly lip of a concha. Outside the cafe, the horizon turns gray. At home, my dog waits in my bed. When I return, she'll whimper and whine, happy to see me, but wishing I was a cute boy who doesn't live here anymore. The one who doesn't love me and holds her heart no more closely than a used tissue. As the mood turns from grief to bitterness, it's time to go home. Join my boxer in the bed, size for a queen, but no queens live in that house. All the kings are dead or gone. Rest in peace to the queen among queens, Ms. Donna Snyder. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for that, Sandy. That was, yeah, I have still not moved into using the past tense comfortably with her. But thank you very much for that. Where can the people find you on the internet? That's what they want to do. Oh.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I put a lot of projects aside for some time off, but I am coming back to a huge invitational show for Tesoro, and that's going to happen January 14. Please stay tuned to the promo and follow me on Sandy Shake.
Right. Thank you so much, Sandy, for joining us for our little potluck. Really bringing it home. Well, this has been a great night, and it's not done yet. We do have some more performers to go, and we are going to take this internationally. Somewhere where it's not Thanksgiving right now, because I believe up in Canada they do it in October. Doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what it says on the calendars every year. But we're going to go to Windsor, Ontario, where a very, very powerful voice resides, and we're excited to hear him. So please welcome Zom Kanto to the mic.
Okay, thank you so much. That was hilarious. All right. I love your face illuminated by candle. Because if in nighttime can't handle your shadow, I love to sit and marvel at the trouble that it took to create. Because you're not just beautiful, I've always.
Since I met you, I found the spirit to connect to. I'll fight to the death if death came to collect you, because I'd rather lose my breath. Since I met you, I love you, and any other emotion would be painful. It's like we both graduated from the same school, but no degree of separation would ever take you away from my imagination. I'm constantly waiting to come back home and taste the beautiful treats you've been baking. At first, I thought that you were taken. And I was shaking because I was ready to commit adultery in a second. Couldn't believe the goddess that I just met with. God is the greatest artist, and you're her best painting. Let's take a walk through a forest that is hidden inside. We can share great stories underneath candlelight. I was afraid for a moment, but this feeling is right. For the right price, we can buy a ray of sunlight. I love the fact that we attract a small crowd when we're walking hand in hand. I don't care, because I understand. Only if I had a magic wand, then I would extend photocopies of your touch to the lonely, because they die when you hold me. I love it when you scold me. I was an unwritten letter till you opened the envelope and dared to unfold me with your immaculate hand. This is what you wrote me with your blood as the ink. You said I'm your one and only. Then you wrote the number to your secrets and said, call me. You never put me on hold. It rang once and you talked to me. Your voice to me was like a thousand angels singing, possibly to create a soundtrack for our feet. When you walk with me, I'll give you my last heartbeat consciously. I know that you would never cheat on me if there was more of me. Your smile comes with the lifetime warranty. You arrested me and I refused to seek amnesty. You were a butterfly. Your soul compliments your wing. When you fly, your spirit touches heaven and God brings back your essence in the form of droplets of rain to create an oasis upon the desert plain. So 3 days ago was my mother's birthday, and this is what I wrote for my mom. I wrote this poem not because you were born on this day, but because from out of space you arrived on planet Earth with such grace that your entrance made it seem like you were floating a few feet above ground. But eventually your crown, it weighed you down, and as you lowered your feet and touched the surface of the earth, your essence forced the tectonic plates below to crash against each other. And those plates fell out of the kitchen sink where Mother Earth washes dishes with both cold waterfalls and hot lava. Mama, you shook the whole earth with your heartbeat. The world and everything in it was all over the place. But you saw where each tiny molecule of everything around you had fallen, and you put it all back together again, golden, exactly as it was. Because you are a goddess, Mama. And every magician and healer under the sun deserves their praise. I wrote this poem not because today is the day you were born, but because your birthday is mine too. It is the day I took my maiden flight on the wings of a huge mythical bird with wings that change colors to confuse the witches of this world. And it disappeared altogether when my soul approached your womb. If you had not been born, I would still be sitting in that waiting room, looking up at whether the flight number would ever be called. And when you uttered your first cry of rhythm, the flight information display system came on, and I checked in my soul at the gate for the same journey that you had taken almost 2 decades and a half before my time. It is hard being a ghetto mother because you are shame. The world will laugh at you with all different kinds of pain, Gaia. From rent to school fees to funeral tents for hire to being afraid to walk at night with no one realizing that when you arrive from out of space, The light you were covered in was filled with every gemstone that the earth's crust and any of its upturned dust had ever known. No one knew that the broken tower lights of the ghetto, on days when they would miraculously turn on, were actually powered by you, Mama. They were powered by your fast beating heart as you walked in the darkness, hoping they come back on and showed you the way, protecting you from the evil that men do. The light in your eyes, it shone through, not to magnify your tears, but to prove that all of the universe's undiscovered gemstones had been building a home inside your eyes for years, Mama. And lighting the path for my mythical bird every time you looked up at the sky. A light so bright it changed the colors of my mythical bird's invisible wings so that witches would not shoot it down with their flexible slings. Sihlala sifunga ukuthi omama sizabenzela konke. We stay claiming that we will do everything for our mothers. So my dream is that you hold on and drown the world's laughter, Mama. No matter what form it disguises itself in, because the universe is always hiding a miracle. The universe always hides its best hand, Mama. It hides its best hand, saving it for when everyone had long already assumed that it had lost the game. Thank you.
What is there left to say after that? Wow, thank you so much, Sumkanto, for joining us tonight. Where can people find more of you online?
I'll put it here on in the chat.
Okay. Okay, thanks again.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thanks once again, Sumkanto, for that passionate, inspired, wonderful reading. Okay, coming up next, we have someone new. This is exciting. Where did they go? Okay, they're still here. But migrating from the YouTube chat to our very own Zoom and getting ready to read from their zine, I believe is what she put in. Yes, that is. We have Luisa. Luisa, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. It's good to
Yes.
meet you.
Nice meeting everyone. My name is Luisa, and a few years ago, I wrote a scene. I'm gonna read it for you, and I hope you like it. I wrote this thinking about the anxiety I had while I was in college, and it's just, I will see this character right next to me all the time, you know, like in my imagination, you know, when I will get very nervous and anxious, and that's how he came out. And let me turn around my camera, and then let me see. Can I turn it around while I'm I'm so sorry. I'm kind of new on this. Oh yes, I can. Give me a second. Okay, the name of my scene is Nervous Jim. He's always expected to win. There's a nervous Jim in all of us. Nervous Jim doesn't always know what to do. Nervous Jim will make you doubt all you ever known. When you think you're all alone at night, Nervous Jim will keep you company. When you're about to present during class, Nervous Jim will be your best pal. Before going to an interview, Nervous Jim will remind you to be the best you. Are you sure? when meeting new people can be a real hassle. Nervous Jim and you can be a real couple. Table for 3. He's kind of sneaky. He likes to be around. The truth is that you could never hide because Nervous Jim will be with you at all times. And the end. Yes, you know what I've been thinking? I wrote this in 2019 and I was thinking that this will be like a great tool for, for kids to understand, and be able to address, being nervous or being anxious. And he's just, I don't know, after I drew him and wrote this, I just didn't know what to do. But I do have it and I show it to people whenever I get a chance. So this is my first time bringing it out of the, I showed this to 10 people. So whoever's in the chat, then I showed it to more people now. So yeah.
Well,
So
you
this
showed
is.
it to everybody on YouTube too. So lots of people are going to see it and enjoy it.
Yeah, yes. So yeah, this is Nervous Jim. Hold on, let me turn around. And yeah, that's all I got because he's not I haven't been able to draw anything else after that. I just have like a creative block, I guess, with him of how to approach him. But yeah, so that's all I got. Thank you for having
great.
me.
Well, we now that appreciate you bringing that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's very appreciative of that, and for how you managed to harness the technology to get some visual art in. That's a little harder to do than.
well, I know. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try. That's because I'm kind of new with this something, but yes, it's you. What I did was that it's a black pen and marker on just copy paper, and that's what I was doing. But I would like to show it to more kids. I just don't know how to approach it. But if you guys like it, that means that maybe it will be like a hit for kids at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're happy. We're happy to be your focus group.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, you can find me. If you want to follow me, I do have a Instagram. It's at Luisa LUISA_houseworks. I'm a DJ. I'm a music producer. But today I brought Nervous Jim out. That's my little pride and joy.
We hope you will come back.
Yes, please do whenever you have the time. And go ahead and bring Nervous Jim.
Yes, thank you.
All right, you're very welcome. Thank you so much, Luisa. And coming up next, we're going to one of our favorites out in Washington, D.C. It is always a pleasure when he comes and sees us. And as he might put in his bio, me conocías. That's right, because you know me. It's Ed Poetastic. Ed, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for making my Monday night such a delight at every spotlight. Thank you for this wonderful and poetastic open mic. All right, my name is Ed Poetastic. Hope you're feeling fantastic. Please get a time to enjoy my rhyme off of Sublime. All right, I got this poem. This is called the Gratitude Poem. Thank you, rain, for cleaning our dirty stains. Thank you, sun, for being the warming day of fun. Thank you, Mondays, for being my bittersweet days. Thank you, bird, for singing in your own personal chord. Thank you, bills, for bringing me emotional chills and spills. Thank you, ex-lovers, for being shocks of blackened thunder. Thank you, friends, for being the exciting blends without ends. Thank you, mosquitoes, for being the buzzing under my nose. Thank you, exams, for making me scream, ah, damn. Thank you, Father, for being absent and no bother. Thank you, God, for being the belief of craziness without odds. Thank you, money, for being the artificial honey, leaving us runny. Thank you, politics, for bringing the economic hold that leaves us sick. Thank you, poetry, for being the worldly sea inside you and me. Thank you, time, for being a big pain, but so sublime. Thank you, life, for being a stepping stone of my might of delights. Thank you, me, for being interesting than the seven wonders in the sea. All right, thank you so much. I got two more. Let me see. This is called lyrical butterflies. Oh, music, what can I say about you? You may be happier than a fish swimming in deep blue. All music is harmony to all our ears, exterminates our darkest fears, and leaves us in happy tears. Music can send fire to our hearts or a big warm hug. It can kill the inner traumas or the toxic bugs. Music gives a safe space. It gives a vibrant room to elevate, concentrate, and meditate with extra grace. Music gives us a nostalgia in a more surreal time. It reminds us we are aligned in our physical and mental prime. Music can raise oceans, destroy mountains, and set off volcanoes. It's hard to believe just from listening to a few notes. Music can make you move and groove a billion times. It's deep in our roots, kind of like these rhymes. Music gives us a moment to express ourselves in this ugly yet beautiful world. It can inspire and teach a little boy or girl. Music music is art's own unique and luminous form to break out of our boring dorms. It could be a radiant sun or a chaotic storm, but listen, in order to transform, music is the air we breathe and the food we eat. It's the senses that freeze our bodies and burn our feet. Music is a performance that's happening inside our minds. Actually, it's like poetry. You can feel the energy going up our spines. Music is, wait, don't just take my word for it, but put on your headphones or earbuds and immerse yourself in the musical blue. Let the notes go through and around you in order to get lost inside your whimsical cocoon. Thank you. I got one more. This is called Let It Be. Yeah, Let It Be. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. 'Cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow, take it slow. Oh, this time we'll take it slow, take it slow. Oh, this time we'll take it slow. Thank you. Let your crystal glow while darkness explode. Let doubts be low while teardrops flow. Let scars billow while angers be snow. Let pain be crows while regrets be plateaus. Let cries be yo-yos while suffer be throws. Let disappointment implodes while chaos be dough. Let terror be a buffalo while fear be a marshmallow. Let ignorance be a scarecrow while stupidity be undertow. Let revenge be a video while sorrow be a sideshow. Let evil be tic-tac-toe while violence be a fashion show. Let grief be a happy hello while misery be a banjo. Let madness be sourdough while hate be a game show. Let depression be a cupid's bow while sadness be a no-no. Let forgiveness be a rainbow while love be a talk show. Let life be a huge stereo while you be a big mistletoe. Thank you.
All right, that's all you got, or is there one more? Or
I got one more.
I was just asking. It was an uncertain pause there. It's up to you.
Okay, no problem. This is called this is called all right, this is called Sandy Hourglass. Time won't give me time, and time makes lovers feel like they got something real. But you and me, we know we got nothing but time, and time won't give me time. Ooh, won't give me time. Oh, the sands of time. You're such a scary thing. Seeing our prime is a sneaky crime. Only our nostalgic tattoos sing. Oh, time, please don't turn the page. I don't want change. No more new shade for this decade. No new stage in this complex cage. Oh, time, why can't you be kind? You always flow through our hands. Every time we're first, we are behind. Only markers can be found throughout the lands. Oh, time, please don't be that way. Memories seem to fade away. Too much time to work, then play. Why can't the good times stay? Oh, time, why do you play hardball? Why can't things stay the same? Why must you keep breaking the iron wall? Whatever is proclaimed by playing this game. Oh, time, why do you play tag? Why do you run quicker than a flash? Why do you win when you nag, nag, and nag? Why can't the good days or nights last? Oh, time, why do we have to grow up? Why can't we dream inside our cocoons? Why can't we drink out our invisible cups? Why can't we travel to the stars and moon? Oh, time, why do you run away? Why can't you feed our hourglass? We hope we pray every single day. We hope to complete our personal task. Oh, time, could we be friends? Could you stay by our side? Please make a peaceful amends. Let's not side or divide that our faulty past has died. Oh, time, it's not your fault. We can never control you. Our stories of glory can't be halt. If you can't live, then who? Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Woo!
Eddie. And where can the people find more of you?
You can find more of me if you're feeling blue. So please come on down to Bob Water and come on through. My if you want to follow me, feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IG is Eddie Foreman 92. And remember, if the mic is right, I'll be there to share my protestic insight. If you send me a question, if you take guests, the answer is yes. However, stay positive, safe, and blessed, and never stop singing or speaking the wonderful source outside your chest. And I have a workshop where the fun never stops. So please, please, please come on and let your minds just pop. I share in the chat so you know where it's at. Thank you, Kit. You always spit and you're always a huge hit. Woo!
You'll never guess what his workshop's themed around. That's right, it's meter. Thank you so much, Ed. Always a joy. All right, coming up next, we have someone who's been attending for a long time, and he's making that very exciting leap from the foot of the stage to on top of the stage. We're always really excited when we see that happen. And so please welcome Elaine Martinez.
Cool. Thank you guys. It's so I'm just gonna do a quick one right now. It's just called Ode to the Lighter. I wanted to see how I do with like my freestyle and stuff, and that's probably all it's gonna be for tonight. But Ode to the Lighter. When things are dark, you make things brighter. I don't know what else to say. Whether you're in or out it, you always make my day. I could go near, I could go far. I could leave you here or in my car. But I know as long as I have you by my side, things are never too bad. And things are never less bright. I feel like maybe without you, I feel inspired. But I know that if I have you, you can always lift me higher. That's it. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the bravery to experiment like that. If you have any links to give to the people, could you?
Yeah, definitely. So my Instagram is Alain the Main, ALAINTHEMANE. And then Alon, and then just I go by Alon Martinez. But yeah, you can find me there on Instagram. And yeah, that should do it. See you guys next week.
All right. Thanks very much. And coming up next to our stage, someone who, figuratively at least, built the stage. Not you, Dan. Turn your camera off. Someone who has done more than any one individual for the live arts in El Paso over the last fill in your period of time here. I like to call him the hardest working man on the border. You, of course, know him as Richie Marrufo. Richie.
All right, awesome. Thank you, thank you. It is cool being on the other side of things and not having to sit around and introduce everyone and just straight up perform. But I want to give a shout out to everyone watching on YouTube. You guys are always welcome here as well. We always have a sign up sheet in the description, so we have a little bit of time if you're feeling like checking it out tonight, or again, every week we're here. We are doing covers today, and it's funny, Robert and I kind of chose the same books. Look at this. Oh, minus the green screen effect there. Got the Brother Sleep and Donna. But I'm gonna go ahead and share a couple different covers first. Lino Annunciation. He came to BWOMS, man, I don't even know how many years ago. 6, 7, 8 years ago. I just kind of kept adding to that.
It was 2017.
It was 2017. Okay, and that was at the Rock House Cafe downtown El Paso. That was a really great spot. And his poetry was just outstanding. We had a packed house, and it was just great to experience it. So I just wanted to bring one of his pieces here. I want to bear witness to the rubble. All of it? The whistle. Where is God? It screams. You don't know anything. You see the rooms, and they all look lonely, but there are no rooms, just mirrors. Just a photo collage of you and the girl you can't recognize, but a smile you can't forget, and the boy you can't see, but you can't stop looking at. Don't think about the elephant. Says the people who never had one standing on their chest. You are the elephant in the room. Your sadness is making everyone uncomfortable, but there is no room, just mirrors. You want to bear witness to the rubble? Close your eyes. Everything breaks if you leave it in the dark. Everything cracks without sunlight. You are a flesh bomb deteriorating on impact. All the people you've touched are echoes now. Is this what you wanted? So it's a short piece, and there's a lot of uplifting stuff. The name of the collection here is "And Then You Begin to Sing," which is a great ending. So I'll mention that. All right, the next I want to give a shout out to my friend Rachel Cachete, who many of you may know from Chismosa Press, local press. They do some great work. Check them out on Instagram, Chismosa Press. And Rachel has been a huge part of our open mic as well. And I remember making these chapbooks in my apartment, and the whole aspect of community and creating, like, it was just a group of us sitting there folding the pages and stapling them. And so this is from her debut, or her zine, Resistance, Persistence, and Love Sickness. It's called Flowers. I wish to grab your face and breathe into you, out from you, and help me discover secrets and talk to the spirits through you. Can you help me understand why everyone is so self-sabotaging and builds Molotovs before cook fires? Explain to me why love is always give or take, or blame until it becomes gunpowder on our tongues. Maybe in your arms I can breathe and simply exist without expectations, and find medicine under your skin that will help make the world stop scratching their own wounds. I have kinks in my spine from trying to hold cathedrals and save our urban villages from self-damnation, but I can't, or I can't pretend to be a savior before being a martyr, but I can plant flowers where I shed my skin. It's a lot of great resistance pieces in here too. So I'll probably bring out more of these in the upcoming open mics as covers. Lastly, I did mention Donna. I have 4 of her collections. I couldn't find the third, but these are 3 of them. I Am South, you heard Robin read from. The very great The Tongue Has Its Secrets. Very excellent cover. Green screen's getting to it a little bit. And her last collection that Kit alluded to earlier, we had her release at Old Sheepdog Brewery, which was an amazing event. You can find that actually on our YouTube channel if you want to see that. I just want to end with this piece of hers called Sanctified. Donna Snyder, everyone. She can make the heat death of the universe a thing of beauty, and an exploding star an object of desire, but gravity. And the untimely death eludes her magic. Killers proceed like a curse written in an ancient alphabet. Death, indifferent to color or class, turns crowns of glory into meat hooks, pierces our flesh, steals our breath, pulls us into the final black hole. Our bodies sanctified. The mix of every color together disappear into the ultimate dark. It's kind of a dark one to end on. What else do I have of hers? She's got... Anyway, I'll read this one, the title piece of her collection, I Am South. There were once women who made many kings by taking a mate. The tacit memory of them inhabits me like stones left to mark my way. The blood of northern tribes undeniably runs through my body. My hair is reddish and my skin pale with cinnamon flecks, but I am south. Gravity pulled me from north to south to find some truer self. South is where I learned to swallow Pablo Neruda like rum. South is where time stretches out like a bus trip in exotic lands. And south is where I can both swear and sweat in Spanish. There is antiquity here everywhere, and I have become part of it. The inscrutable past etched across desert scapes like ghost buttes. The scattered and desiccated detritus of other lives lived and other loves. Effulgent plains and circles circling out through time and space like ephemeral water. The humid kiss of desert stones. I am south. So cheers to the beautiful poet and Donna and all she inspired. And it's great to have these events. Thank you, Kit, for suggesting this annual poetry potluck. And I hope that we can all be back next year for that. You know, we're going to keep this space alive and open as long as you guys want it. Okay. So thank you. I'm going to hand it back to Kit, and I'll see you guys at the sign off. Cool. Thank you so much. And you can find me at Dead Wall Reveries on Instagram, or catch any of the live open mics in person in El Paso. We'd love to see you there. Cool. I think that's it.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you, boss. Before we send it to Dan and close the night, I want to close my bit of the evening with a poem that I think best fits the values that I associate with Thanksgiving, which is, of course, different from the history of Thanksgiving. And it's only fitting that it's written by our two-term poet laureate, Joy Harjo. This is Perhaps the World Ends Here. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teethe at the corners. They scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women. At this table, we gossip, recall enemies, and the ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor falling down selves. And as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We have given birth on this table and have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse. We give thanks Perhaps the world ends here. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating up the last sweet bite. And of course, we are nothing if not creatures of habits here at the Stay at Home Open Mic series. And we only know one way to close things. And we're going to go to our old reliable right-hander, Dan the Man. Dan, when you're ready, close us out.
Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. There's your spotlight. Go ahead.
Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? As you know, we always know Thursday's Thanksgiving. There's only one thing we know of: cranberries. Yep. Or you want strawberries, or raspberries, or schnozberries, or blueberries, raspberries. Oh, I already said that. Or strawberries. There's a one thing, it's cranberries. Reminds me of the band led by the late Dolores O'Riordan with the songs Zombie, Linger, and wait, there was another one. What was it called again? And Dreams. Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. But speaking of cranberries, we have a cranberry sonnet by Nancy Hess, Cape Cod. Oh, this is nice. All right, gonna like this one. The waves roll on and gulls above soar high. Long foghorns chanting Cape Cod solitude. The dunes at rest beneath the autumn sky. Envelope peaceful beaches once encombed. Bright foliage adorns the countryside, surrounding sun-dried bogs of cranberries. This summer, tourists verdant welcome tides now boost majestic hues of burgundies. The synthetic lake spews forth from each bog's moat, releasing berries from the harvest day, and buoyant crimson carpet lies afloat. In just a band being scooped away to conjure up a sauce of ocean spray and have with turkey for Thanksgiving Day. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Yeah, yes. All right, that was the Cranberry Sonnet by Nancy Hess. Mm-hmm. Hey, whoa. That sounds like Con. Con, is that you? Is she here? That's the only woo I hear from. That's the only one that
You're hearing voices, man.
Huh. Oh well. Okay. And there's another one. I want to show you something. Oh, come on. Thank you. All right. Anybody know who that is? No? I'll give you a hint. He's the Green Ring. Yeah, yes, Sandy, that's correct. And who is he? Yeah.
Oh, he just passed away.
I know. Yeah, it's Jason David Frank. Best remember is Tommy, aka the Green Ranger. One of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and something else. Hold on.
He played a synthesizer as a flute that was a dagger.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Dan the Man and the Green Ranger. Yep. It was 13 years ago. I was no stranger to be a fan of the Power Rangers. Yep. If you yep. I kind of like a fan, but I could still. There's always a plan that I can. Yeah. Well, yeah. Luckily, those Power Rangers, they always have a plan, a wonderful plan to make a time span to save the world, and it's always a plan because they can. Yep, it's time we make a stand. Yeah, but even though I'm no stranger to a fan of Power Ranger. Well, almost a fan, kind of, but okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm no stranger because I'm kind of like a fan. Back then, back then, when I saw the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Well, he's always, and whenever there's danger, there's always a backup. The Green Ranger. even if it was Texas, it would be like Texas Rangers, like saying Chuck Norris as Walker Texas Ranger. Yeah. You imagine mixing Power Rangers and Walker Texas Ranger. Oh, that would be nice. Like a buzz of Chuck Norris. Yeah. But nevertheless, yep, there's always a game changer. Well, it always has a prearranger, like the interchanger. But still, we are no strangers. Yep. How about Power Ranger Walker? Okay, let me try. Let me go back. Well, there's always a game changer, but there's always a rearranger. However, we are no stranger being fans to Power Rangers. Always has the short changer and the long ranger. But rest in peace to the Green Ranger. Yeah. Yeah, that was 13 years ago. Yeah, and that's me and Jason David Frank. It was 13 years ago. AFO, Anime Festival at Orlando, Florida. Yeah, I was visiting my sister. My nephew was 2 years old at the time. Oh man, it was wonderful memories. God rest his soul. Yeah. So, well, guys, I always thought if Jason David Frank was going to come back to El Paso, I might have a chance to meet if we meet again. Well, I guess that's not going to happen. But he's, according to Ed Potastic, he's like a brother from another mother. Yep, one way or another. So still, he's no stranger, but he's a Power Ranger. Rest in peace to the Green Ranger. Well, thoughts and prayers is out to the friends and fans out there, especially the loved ones. So.
All right.
Okay, here it is. Read it and weep it. Yeah, like I usually say. I'm behind posts on Twitter and Facebook, but still catch up on Instagram. Yeah, So, but most importantly, find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe it, and hashtag Dan the Man's Weekly. All right, you guys. Hope you guys have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And Richie, Kit, there's a chance I might see you guys tomorrow for the Mona Bar, or maybe Friday at the Crafts Rivers and Brews. So, and for the rest of you guys have a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. All right, thanks to everybody. All right, guys. Thank you. You have a wonderful night. Okay, Kit. Let's go ahead and have Richie to call it a night.
All right.
Thanks. And
Thank you so much, Dan. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Real quick to wrap up the night, just going to put my plugs in. Instagram at Kit Wren Away, Twitter at Kit Talk Sports, for as long as that's still around. Ko-fi.com/Kit Wren, where you can find a lot of attempts to merge high culture and football. It's actually easier than it sounds. It's a racket. More people ought to do it. Find me on Facebook, easy enough. And you can email me or use PayPal to drop something in the tip jar. It would be really appreciated. I am also the director and coordinator of the Tumblewords Project with my nice little tote bag. And this Saturday, we are going to have a very special thing because my friend Sarah Beltre happens to be the regional liaison. That's what they call it. They're big on titles there. Novelists, They come up with the title and then just tell people about it for years. She is the regional liaison for National Novel Writing Month. And since Tumblewords and NaNoWriMo are both about confronting and defeating the blank page, we thought we'd close the month with a crossover event, if you will, between prose and the poets. Maybe one day there will be peace. And so that's to look forward to on Saturday. Okay, I'm going to hand it to Richie, see if he has any end of day business, and stick around for the after party where we'll have some brews, we'll have some fun. We might share some cheese bake.
As always, lots of fun. We're still working on those Cheeseman Industrial Complex t-shirts coming from quote Kit there. Thank you everyone who read tonight. Those of you who signed up and couldn't make it, we wish you the best. Hope everything's all right. And again, come back anytime. We're here every week. If you are in the Paso region or passing through, be on the lookout for us for live events. Also hit me up at Barbed Wire Open Mic on Instagram or Deadwall Reveries on Instagram. I have a studio where I want to record more poets doing their thing. And also I just want to encourage more writers, poets, songwriters to come out to the open mics in person. We need you. I would love many, many more of you to make it out. Too many comedians. Let's change that up. Okay, guys, let's shift that up. But for the Monday night online open mic, if this is your first time checking out, we have a whole archive of past shows. There's plenty of content to sift through. And if you haven't already, check out our YouTube channel, subscribe if you can. Like this video, because the more you do that, the more it gets pushed out to people who could see this and our audience grows. So guys, thank you so much. Have a good night for the live stream. Again, peace. We'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks to everyone who tuned in on YouTube, by the way. Good crew tonight. Good crew.